Welcome to our podcast, The Journey to CEO Success. I'm your co-host, Melissa Saunders, along with Patrick Thean, award-winning serial entrepreneur, CEO coach, and a Wall Street Journal and USA Today bestselling author. His latest book, The Journey to CEO Success, is a #1 Amazon bestseller and the inspiration for this podcast. Welcome, Patrick. How are you?
Hey, Melissa. It's a good day for a podcast.
Yeah, I think so too. And we have a special treat for our guests today. We're talking beer and business, two of our favorite topics, I know. I'm excited to welcome Phil Buchy. He's the founder and CEO of Legion Brewing, a regional craft brewery and multi-unit restaurant group rooted right here in Charlotte, North Carolina, focused on delivering community, craftsmanship, and of course, great beer. Thanks, Phil, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, us too.
It's great to have you, buddy. It's been quite a few years since we've connected. A couple of years actually, and so good to see you. And you're looking good. You're looking trim. Love your beard there. You're looking good. So
gotta have a brewer's beard.
That's good. Hey, why don't we first begin with you taking maybe a minute or two and share about Legion Brewing before we get into, discussing about your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a regional craft brewery located here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we also have a bunch of restaurant units. We've 4 and a 5th on the way. We brew. Think of a brew pub with a big restaurant component. Each one of our locations is like that. So we've got a very extensive menu at each. Our Chef Gene, is essentially a Michelin caliber chef. So we deliver high quality food and hospitality at each one of our locations. And that translates to why people like us so much.
Absolutely. And if you live in Charlotte, guys, on this podcast, if you live in Charlotte, you should definitely check out Phil's locations. I've checked out, the food is great. So I've enjoyed your South Park location quite a bit.
Thank you.
I think when I first met you, we were in your first location. What was that location?
Plaza Midwood.
And actually, a lot of people don't really know this, but I don't really drink very much. And I remember when I went to your place, you were like, what beer can I get you? And I'm like, well, I don't really know how to drink beer, and you were so generous, and you were like, that's okay, you're in the right place, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna show you how to drink beer. And you served me this slightly fruity one that I actually really enjoyed. So you got lots of great beer there.
Thank you very much. Our team is very talented and very proud of what we do and what our team puts out.
Yeah, and so you've actually picked the right thing to do, because I believe Charlotte has become like the craft beer kind of microbrewery, like one of the major microbrewery cities in the country. So how did you do that, or rather, take us through your journey? When did you begin your beer journey, and how did it lead to you doing this brewery?
Well, I originally started my college career out at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I fell in love with craft beer out there. That was one of the early inception points of the craft beer movement, Colorado and California both. And just the super early days, I loved drinking it. And when I eventually left the academy and I was still trying to find the same beers I was drinking out in Colorado, I went to a bottle shop in my hometown, and they had a box up on the shelf, and I was like, what's that box? It's like, oh, it's a homebrew kit. You can make your own beer with that. I was like, whoa. It's like, give me 6 of those things. So I started brewing in the mid-'90s and just fell down the rabbit hole and really loved it. And, professional job took me all over the country and all over the world. And I was on the road a lot, like 30 days out of the month.
What were you doing? What was your professional job at that time?
I was a civil engineer, but I went into construction. So I was managing projects all across the U.S. And a lot of very small towns. If it had a stoplight, it was probably too big for me. I got to see America.
That's great.
But, so I was on the road, and I've got a very strong family life. And because I was on the road so much, I was kind of lonely. So wherever I went, I would always try to find the local brewery or definitely the local, unique watering hole. I'm not a chain guy, so I was trying to find, what spoke to the community there, because that's where people live. That's where people, it's their third space. It's where the in-between work and home, and celebrate on the weekends, go for Sunday brunch and whatnot. So I was trying to find those places, and really an enthusiast of craft brewing. And so when I finally took a new job here in Charlotte, North Carolina, I've been here since 2002. I thought to myself, that really gave me comfort while I was on the road and lonely. I want to do that. So I put my business plan on paper in 2002, and a lot of swings and misses of trying to raise capital. That's not my background. Didn't have that access or that knowledge base at the time. And a lot of swings and misses. And around 2013, I was finally able to meet my co-founding partner, Newton Craver. And we struck up a friendship and a partnership, and we're able to open. And right before we opened, we decided that the concept that we had before for the branding side just didn't fit perfectly. So we changed the name to Legion Brewing. Our tagline is Friends and Beer, because it's that legion of friends that help us get open, and that's that legion that we love. Our mission statement, our why, is to bring people together, because we want people sharing a pint. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat or think one way or the other. You can share your discussions over a beer. You can celebrate with a beer. You can mourn with a beer. I mean, it's how you live life in that community. So it's really nice seeing all the family gather on the weekends. We call it the Stroller Mafia runs deep in our tap rooms.
The Stroller Mafia. Let me ask you this: you bought that? You said, give me 6 of those home brewing kits.
Oh, yeah.
When did you start doing the home brewing thing?
I started brewing probably around 97 or 98, somewhere in there.
So from 98, you start brewing. In 2013, you really started Legion Brewing.
Absolutely.
So during that time, I'm imagining that during the time you fed your passion. Did you buy more brewing kits? Did you brew more beer at home, or what?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that legally you can only make around 500 gallons a year, and I may have been well north of that.
Don't say anything on this podcast that will incriminate you.
That was a long time ago. Actually, limitations are over. I got a license.
So by the time you start Legion Brewery, you really were, I would say, you've done it a lot before you actually.
Absolutely. I really threw myself into the industry and learned as much. I've built a few breweries before, well in the early days, and I've built a lot of breweries now, construction wise. So I really tried to dive into educating myself.
So our podcast is for CEOs, and sometimes we get founders who haven't started companies yet, but it's mainly for CEOs. And I would share that there were some good nuggets in that opening story you shared, Phil. I mean, for everybody listening, you want to really get into a business that you truly feel passionate about. And in your case, it was beer, but it was also bringing people and friends and family together. And the beer is that connective tissue for you, that glue that brings everything together. So you're passionate about beer. And I still remember one of my friends that is what we call our industry a hired gun, right? Someone that you hire to run your company. And I asked him once, I said, how do you do this? How do you go from company to company and you're really passionate? Because this was 20 some years ago when I was considering my own transitions, and this is right before I did Rhythm Systems, and I was thinking, should I do this? Should I do that? And I was considering being a hired gun. I was considering being hired to run somebody's company. And I asked him this question. I said, dude, how do you fall in love? Like, how do you get passionate about that? And he gave me an answer that worked for him, but couldn't work for me. He said, Patrick, you pay me enough money, I'll have passion. And I thought, wow, that's amazing, but that can't work for me. For me, I've got to find something that I'm passionate about. So when I hear your story, I'm just inspired by a few points. Number one, your passion for the work. Second, your passion for your purpose. And third, that it took many years. It wasn't just, oh, I want to go start a company, make money. It was really taking your passion and making it to something that really you're building a life around.
Absolutely.
And that is a fantastic formula, because I'm guessing that you have a lot of joy doing what you do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every day is a pleasure. I said we founded Legion in 2015, opened our doors then. So this is our 10-year anniversary. And I always say that I started working 10 years ago.
Well, congratulations. Maybe this weekend when my daughter comes back from Seattle, I'll bring her to your brewery and we can have some of those wings that I remember at South Park.
Absolutely. I would love to host.
Now that she's a drinking age. But this reminds me, I met you years ago. Like I said, Legion Brewery was at Plaza Midwood only. And I want to share the story, or rather I'd like you to share the story. You were really just starting your expansion journey. And I recall working with you during the time to think through your South Park location. And I remember that your South Park location was going to more than double the revenue of your company. And I said to you, hey, Phil, this is a bet the company move, right? And you were like, yeah, absolutely. It's a bet the company move. I want you to go back to that time and share some lessons on, number one, why did you do that? Like, why did you do a bet the company move? Because that's a pretty bold move. In our world, we call it a winning move. But you, it wasn't just a winning move, it was a bet the company move. Why did you do that? Why did you choose to do a bet the company move?
I think ultimately the root answer to that question is because when I first opened, I probably didn't have a real sense of what our why was and why I was doing it. I didn't have my mission statement written out perfectly. I didn't have the short, we bring people together answer that really resonates with us. I think it just evolved into it. And when we opened Plaza Midwood, and it was so receptive, and it was so the warmth that it brought and the happiness that it brought to myself and the community and our employees. Our first location was actually across town from my home. I live in the South Park neighborhood, and I originally put Plaza Midwood there because I was younger at the time. I didn't have as much gray hair as I do now, and I was like, that's where you go to party. So let's put the brewery over in the party neighborhood.
Yes.
And then after doing that, I was like, you know what? It would be really nice if I could just grab a pint in my own neighborhood. And that's where it kind of morphed into, to where I know just because there isn't a brewery, South Park is kind of a white collar country club type neighborhood. And there really wasn't a brewery type offering in the neighborhood. And I was like, I want one. I know other people would appreciate this as well. Yeah. And so I really want to tailor this experience to my own neighborhood, my own community. And we did it. And we always joke that we were coming to funk the neighborhood up, give it a little edge, and it took off.
But why was it worthy? Or did you even think about that you were literally going to bet the company on this? Because it was a big investment. And by the way, the other thing that's very impressive about you, Phil, is you were building that South Park location. And of course, this comes from your civil engineering background, your construction background. And I remember we were talking about how, what's the date of moving, remember? And in that coaching session, I was like, dude, you need to plan for it being late. Because every construction I've ever been involved in has always been late. And you were like, nah, it's not going to be late. It's not going to be late. And I was like, oh my God, no. You got to plan. It's going to be late. And I remember that, this is where I'm not proud of this because I think I was probably more of a wet blanket. I didn't help you as much. But every time you would talk about that move-in date, I kept going, what is the backup plan, buddy? And you're like, the backup plan is to make the date. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to die. But no, you actually made the date. So actually, I haven't been doing a lot of construction. I'm just saying I've been involved in like my own home renovations and my friends' renovations. And I've just never seen a construction project. And yours was of magnitude, not even a small one, but yours was of magnitude.
We've got a big spot there.
So that's amazing. I'm still amazed by that. Best thing I've ever seen in construction. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've got a little advantage because I've got 25 years in that career. So I know how to do that, and I've got a deep Rolodex of people that owe me favors. But it kind of goes to like a little tidbit of advice that I give any startup brewery or startup restaurant, really any brand new business to begin with. What's one piece of advice I would give you? Just get open. Don't worry about anything else. Get open. Just get open.
That is really good advice. That's really advice. Yeah, because I think that is. By the way, that applies to even when you start your business. Because I had a friend ask me a long time ago, "Hey, can you help me with my business?" I said, "Look, I don't do startup." She said, "No, but you can help me." And I said, "Fine, I'll help you a little bit. Just tell me what are the most important things for you to do." And she listed a bunch of things. Get an office, get furniture, get my business card, da 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 da. She went through like 10 things, and I said, her name's Linda. And I said, Linda, you missed the most important thing. And she said, what do you mean? I think I got everything. I said, the most important thing is get a customer. Wasn't on her list. Everything else was, getting a chair, getting a table. I'm like, Linda, no. Number one is getting a customer. Mm-hmm. And then I asked her, I said, what's the next thing you would do? And she went through her list, and I said, no, sorry. Number two is keeping your customer.
Absolutely.
So that's it, right? So that's what drove you to. You didn't open perfectly, is what I'm hearing you say. Like
minimum viable product and get open.
I didn't know that term minimal viable product could translate to beer. Minimal viable beer. How does that
It's got to be good enough to keep the customer, but as soon as you can do it, get open.
Yeah. But I'm still stuck on this question about why did you bet the company on it? Is it because the South Park location had to be big enough in order to fit in South Park?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to sum up in a short answer. Definitely, I wanted to have more spots. I wanted to feed that calling of bringing people together. I wanted to just expand our successes of Plaza to South Park and vice versa. That's what we're doing now, is finding communities that we want that share our passion with in those neighborhoods. But why did we go so big? I mean, we just didn't double. I mean, we probably quadrupled with the South Park location, and I think that was just a creature of what was available in the neighborhood. There really wasn't anything available at the time. The real estate market was kind of tight, and the landlord that we were renting from actually reached out to us and said, would you come look at it? And I walked into the space, and I was like, I know exactly what to do here. I want to make this happen. And so there was no plan B. It was get open.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And I will share with you that from a consumer's perspective looking in, you did a good job there, because I feel like your brewery really fits South Park really well.
Thank you.
I mean, and it does. I mean, South Park is a different animal. So you need something substantial for people to go, okay, it's worthy of coming to and coming back. So run through real quick. What are your top 1 or 2 lessons of doing that huge expansion to South Park? What was that?
For us, our success comes from really understanding the area that we're going into, understanding the market, understanding the consumer that we're serving. We aren't just stamping out rinse and repeat locations. We are providing a bespoke experience at every location. So we recognize that we have 4 locations. They're all in Charlotte, and every single location has a very unique clientele. We've got Country Club in South Park. We've got Alternative in Plaza Midwood. We've got transitioning new neighborhoods at West Moorhead. We've got fresh out of college young professional working at the bank downtown, and different age groups, different demographics, all over. And at every single location, I would say that they see us as their brewery, and it's like, we've got the best brewery. And it's warming that we can bridge those demographics and still have the same loyalty as we do, and it's because we've really made the effort to understand our customer and not just try to force a concept on them, but tailor the concept for what they want in their lives.
So let me go out on a limb here and test myself a little bit here, because I believe that we have one core customer. Now, that one core customer can take shape in different demographics and look different, but it's that one core customer. So I'm curious whether you see yourself having, like, the person that comes to each of these breweries. I know that demographically they may be different, but my theory is that they all thirst for the same thing.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Case?
Human connection.
And so in your case, you believe your core customer is thirsting for that human connection.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And what you learned is you are, or what I'm learning actually as I listen to your story, is you are feeding into their greatest need of human connection. At the same time, you're serving it up in a way that fits the right demographic.
Correct.
But I'm coming. What is it you say? You're tagging friends and beer.
Friends and beer.
Friends and beer. So you're using beer to provide that human connection, and it doesn't matter whether you're a country club or you are alternative or you're whatever. That's still the same core customer desired need that you're feeding into.
Absolutely. That's it fills your heart with joy to be able to do that. I mean, we've got extremely good beer. We win world-class world competitions all the time. We've got tons of awards. We're the top-selling beer out on the shelves. We've got the numbers to prove it. Our food is amazing, Michelin caliber type food, and but all of that is just what we do. It's not why we do it. And the raving fans that we've got is because we've connected with their own identity. And their own identity is, they want warmth and happiness. We call it campfire hospitality. We bring people together in informal way. It's like, hey, come over here. Let's have a beer together.
Wonderful. So tell me about your journey, right? Let's spend the last couple of minutes on your journey from here onwards. What's up for Phil Buchy moving forward? What are you thinking about, and where does your journey go next?
Yeah, well, we last few years have been interesting. Coming through the pandemic, that shut our business down to zero. So navigating that and the shockwaves after it were interesting. Just the macro market that we're in right now with the economy and the inflation and the health craze and the THC craze that are going through the beer industry. It's the first time in the history of the world that per capita consumption of alcohol is actually going down. And so that's affecting liquor, wine, macro beer, craft beer, the whole nine yards. So very crazy time to be in this industry, but at the same time, we're really accelerating into the headwinds. While some of our other compatriots have big reds and big double reds, we're actually 35% up. I mean, we're killing it. And
so why is that? Why are you killing it?
I think it's because, again, we see our product as the what, not the why.
Yes.
And I think that's resonating. Kind of also from our strategic place in the market, we've decided to grow a mile deep instead of a mile wide. I mean, we're a really big brewery for North Carolina, but honestly, we're in the grand scheme of things, we're a teeny little company. So it's hard to compete against the big international companies, the further away from our rooftop that we get. So we've decided to grow a mile deep instead of just spreading ourselves too thin and not having that relevance the further away we get from home. So ultimately, kind of like our BHAG, we've set out, we want to be the brewery of the Carolinas, and we're starting that journey with trying to be and going to be the brewery of Charlotte. So
Excellent. So a lot of key lessons taken away from that, like because you're right. I was watching the news the other day, and it talked about how the health craze, the lose weight drugs, the GLP-1 drugs, and things like that, causing people to drink less beer, for example, right? And
Absolutely.
yet you say we're up 35%. Now, I'm wondering, is that because you're attracting more of the right customers? Not that your customers, so there's market share and wallet share. So wallet share means your customers are drinking more. Market share means you're actually getting more customers. I imagine in your case, it must be wallet share. Market share. You're getting more customers.
It is. We are getting more customers and also at the same time, our customers are drinking less. So we are getting market share versus the wallet share. Wallet share is just a sign of the times of all those things that we both mentioned already. That just is what it is. We're also getting into non-alcoholic beers to sell those as well. In fact, ours have been so successful I can't keep up, so I've got to buy a new piece of equipment to be able to produce faster. So
educate me on this point. Non-alcoholic beer, does it have less calories than alcoholic beer because of the less sugar? I'm guessing. Is it?
Not the simple answer is no.
Okay.
The more complex answer might be yes. It just depends on how much ingredient you put into it, and more ingredients, more flavor. So like a Coors Light would have less calories than a double IPA, just because there's less ingredients, or i.e. more water in a Coors Light than there is in a double IPA. Now, if you had a non-alcoholic double IPA, which I don't even know what you would call that, but you get what I'm going with. That would be a very high caloric non-alcoholic beer.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Anyway.
Okay. Very cool. So let me ask you this, this is the last question I'm going to ask you. And I ask this question of every guest, because our podcast is about helping CEOs have a joyful and successful life. First of all, I want to thank you because I've taken so many lessons from you today. But I do want to ask you, what advice would you like to leave our audience for them to have a more joyful and successful life?
That's a hard one. But where I find joy and success is just to enjoy the day, enjoy the journey. Even when my days are really hard, I look at it as I'm getting stronger. I'm getting better because I'm persevering through this. And so I find the silver lining of, this is making me better, and this is getting me closer to what I want to achieve in my life. So I appreciate this pain and these rough times, because it's going to make the good times even better. So it's just appreciating life and don't cry in your beer, or go get one, cry in it, and get over it. One of the two.
So come to Legion Brewery and get a beer and cry with your beer.
Yeah.
Make people have the connections.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you.
Man, Phil, you're the epitome of loving what you do, and you never work a day in your life. So
Absolutely.
Congratulations on making that work. And I love that you have been able to really take your passion of beer and create a great company for the community and, for your family. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And thank you, Patrick, for being here. And of course, Phil, for being here, sharing your stories. Until next time, I think Phil took my line, actually. Go out there, find your joy, read a book, buy a beer, get your friends, listen to a podcast, but whatever you do, enjoy it and enjoy your journey. Bye for now.
Thank you.